habits never change. And such is the case of certain scholars, certain organizations that believe that there's no informed consent when it comes to dealing with human subjects or the concept of mental health and the perceived directive that some people have over other people. What am I talking about in this sense? Well, I'm talking about that over the last since the beginning of the EBT card and the branching out, the Department of Health and Human Services, the mental health, and the Department of Justice, right? The organizations involved in EBT um, have undoubtedly given certain organizations a little bit too much power in the fact of who they study, informed consent, every aspect of informed consent, right? Everyone knows what anti-vaxxing is, right? So anti-vaxxing is a movement that doesn't want anything in their body that they do not accept. In New York City, there's a movement in which certain organizations are doing whatever they want to other people. It could be a nurse, it could be a mental health nurse, it could be some random security guard agency, it could be whomever, in administering and introducing medicines or other fluids in your body. I don't care if it's saline, but what they're doing violates the concept of informed consent and research subjects, you know? And this perspective branches out into studying other people because I'm seeing a lot of comments, a lot of observation, investigation on certain people like myself. I recently left visiting or stopped visiting Battery Park Library, and the manager there told the employees to remove every document with my name on it outside that office, to throw out everything that they had prepared. And what does that mean? It means that they're taking to themselves investigating to claim if people are crazy or not, right? Studying other people. And what is that? That is a violation of institutional review board policies. If you're going to study someone, you better have their informed consent. If you are going to study a human population, it has to be a general study. It has to be about everyone. You cannot be. Let's say, for example, you're sitting in the summer at 3 p.m. at Union Square Park. Next to you is a homeless person. You cannot be focusing your views, ideas, perspectives about what you're seeing on the homeless person. He's naked. He's eating food from the ground. He has no shirt. He has broken up clothes. His hair is knotted. And so you cannot make assertions about a single individual without their informed consent. You cannot do nothing to it in the medical world, right? In the epistemology, that's the concept of epistemology, of doing things right, right? It's how the people, how they create truth about the world, right? That's basically, in summary, what an episteme is. A group of people that create truth in the world by using the scientific foundation, right? Scientific methods, etc., to build upon the truth, prove it, and then state it as such. So, if you're going to be studying a human subject, you need informed consent. You need to ask him, hey, yo, I'm doing a study about you. It's not about just capturing, following someone around and writing things about an individual without repercussions, without violating certain rules and principles. I don't give a fuck what agency you are from. You're violating the law. You're violating the law, period. So, and that's what's happening in New York City. In New York City, there's a huge movement of nurses, the mental health, of let me take you to the shelter people, and they're taking samples, they're spinal tapping, they're injecting people with shit. It's not Narcan. We're talking about real shit into other people, and they're causing an ethical issue. It's a big ethical issue at the end of the day. To have documents with my name on it as a doctor, right? Inside a public library, that's a fucking red flag. To see other people being injected, being 30 samples taken from some leg, that's a red flag. To have to wake up with some pain and you know that it's an intramuscular injection after falling, after taking a nap in a park, that is a red flag. And that is what's happening in New York City. New York City has forgotten about Tuskegee, right? They could be injecting AIDS into people right now in this motherfucker, and nobody's red flagging them. Nobody's saying, yo, you're not supposed to be doing nothing here with any of these people. You know, you're a social scientist, right? You're a medical professional. You need informed consent. Unfortunately, the EBT card, where is it? This is what they believe grants them such foundation. This is what this is what makes them believe that they have the freedom to do whatever they want to you because you have an EBT card, and that's incorrect. That's incorrect. You should not, you know, Department of Health or the Department of HRA in the city should not be putting on their small print any rules and regulations, any permissions to be studying, to be injecting, to be warranting hospital visits, mental health visits, nothing with anyone that has an EBT card because it violates their rights, the principle of, of informed consent. It violates what's in their body and their right to not want anything to do with what they're doing. But unfortunately, in this city, it's deeper than just a random injection by a stranger in your arm. It's outright investigating someone without their consent, without their signature. Why? Because they don't know what they're supposed to do. It's entering the realm that they think that they know what they're doing, but they're supposed to be doing it about the general public. They're not supposed to be targeting an individual without his informed consent. Like they're not supposed to be studying me or having piles of information with my name on it. If I haven't adequately signed, yes, you can study me at any point in time. Oh, this is just going to be an observation. Blah blah blah. It's going to be a study about whatever, and I sign it. I put my name on it, Dr. Roman Bonilla. But no, in their mind, they believe they could do whatever they want. Why? Because they aren't conferred doctorates. They did not do the process of having to do what they're supposed to do to be able to do that kind of work. They are not social scientists. They are not medical professionals. These are just people capturing information and making assumptions and filing paperwork because some other fucking agency told them to do that shit. And that is breaking the law. And this is where we are. That is what a blue democratic state like New York City turned into, an area in which you could be injected with some experiment liquid. They could do whatever they want to you, and you would have no way of stopping them. No way, zero, nothing. They don't know if that injection is gonna kill you. They know nothing about you. You know, this is just in essence, an attempt to smear you. That's all they be doing. They know that I'm a powerful person. That's all that it is. I'm powerful. Deal with it. Suck a dick. You're not going to stop me. You're not going to get me to work so that they do the same thing once I get to work. You're not going to smear my permanent record. You're not going to even touch my health records. My health records are sealed by the military. Everything is sealed, including the arrest record. Everything is sealed under my name. You see, the Army did a great job in stopping the bullshit red tape out here that they like to be smearing certain individuals behind closed covers. The military did a great job. And I remember sitting with the first sergeant. Yeah, that health record, that's all fucking made up shit about you to the garbage. Boom. Like that. But because that's what they do. That's all what they're trying to do. That's all they're trying to achieve out here. Smear a doctor, open record about what this person is or isn't. And they're breaking the law. They can't arrest me. They can't be falsifying records. They can't be claiming I'm crazy. They can't be doing that because the process is not there. It's being done in their own volition. It's like their hobby. The hobby is to call me crazy out here. And they need to wake up because capturing personal information about people without their consent is a crime. It's a crime. So they're breaking the law too. It's just they just don't get it. They don't get it yet. So, but I wanted to leave a record here of what's happening in the city. These people is taking samples, injecting samples into people's legs out here. They injecting them with random liquid. They taking spinal taps. They don't care. They see you sleeping on the train. It's cause to do some bullshit to them. They don't know who you are. This morning, I told them, oh, he's a doctor. I'm a doctor. What are you working on? Finance. They started running because they know they did something wrong when I was sleeping. They did something. And the MTA cleaner, right? The guy there, oh, they running. They running because they had approached me and done something this morning. And here they are, setting and targeting locations, knowing that I'm going to frequent the area to make their little scientific study. And they don't get it, that they're standing in hot water. You know, the pot is not lightly boiled. The pot is scorching. You're breaking the law. You are not the master fit to be doing this type of work if you don't know the basic principles of informed consent. You cannot study people without their permission. Period. Make a general study. Don't even mention me. Make a general. The people in the library, not the doctor, the people in the library. Union Square Park, the homeless people in 14th Street. You can't mention me in that shit. But that's what these people want to do because they like to flood records with falsified information. And it's known. I've already caught them in that shit. The army already caught them in that shit. It put a nice little confidential seal about both of my information. NCIS clear and the health record is sealed. And I'm not gonna die, right? Whatever they do here, try to make my leg explode with worms, the same people looking to make me go to the hospital, I'm not gonna let them. I'm gonna take care of myself. And I'm never gonna touch a hospital place. Because I know damn well what their plan is. Once the record is open, you got these agencies out here capturing information from people, load up all that bullshit that they have gathered without permission, without following proper protocol. You know, they just don't get it. They don't get it. All they're trying to do is smear a powerful person. This guy is a powerful person. And it is so powerful that people wait for him to study him. People wait for him to talk shit about them and draw notes and have piles of paperwork in a public library with his name on it. That's how powerful I am. And people want to take me down. They can't do nothing about it. They can't do nothing because the method that they're doing it is incorrect. Have a good day, everyone. That was just a short message here today, a little 12 minutes of what's happening in New York City. New York City is a blue state. New York City don't give a fuck. If you're white, if you're black, if you're Hispanic, these motherfuckers will inject you with the next syphilis, with the next COVID, so that the next time you catch COVID, you die. They do not have any precautions in who they target to do certain things. To them, the EBT card is the all outright gate to Medicaid and every other illegal study known to man. Peace. And how do I know that? The three-pronged system. Department of Health and Human Services, Department of Mental Health, and Department of Justice. The three agencies involved in the funding of the EBT card. And what do you think? I'm never going to touch a shelter again because I know better. Because the shelter is a dangerous place for anyone that hasn't been in the prison system. But they don't know that. They think that by calling innocent people that are homeless from the train, oh, would you like a warm bed, baby? It's not going to put him with people who done 10 years on parole in a shelter for murder, for rape, for child molesting and all this shit. That's what the shelter is full of right now. But they don't know that. I know that. That's what it's used for. It's used for people on parole, on probation, homeless people, all criminals. Oh, you don't tell random bystander off the train to get a warm bed to go sleep next to someone who did 10 years for murder. Thumbs down. All they studies invalid. Peace. You realize how powerful you are based on what they want to do around you. And it's not good. Oh, well, prove he's crazy. This one. That's all that it is. This one, baby.